The Mossad, Israel's famed spy agency, is one of the most effective tools that the Jewish state has in its defensive. 1. Operation Finale, the Mossad's hunt for Adolf Eichmann, 1960. In 1957, Dr. Fritz Bauer, a German Jewish Holocaust survivor who was serving as the prosecutor general for the state of Hesse in West Germany, approached the Mossad with information that Adolf Eichmann was alive and well in Argentina. As the SS officer in charge of the Gestapo's Jewish department, Eichmann had been one of the key architects of the final solution, responsible for facilitating the transportation and murder of hundreds of thousands of European Jews during the Holocaust. Following Germany's surrender, Eichmann was captured 3 times by Allied forces but was able to escape each time. In 1950, Eichmann was able to escape Germany with the aid of members of the Catholic Church and former Nazis and set sail for a new life in Argentina. Bauer's information concerning Eichmann's whereabouts was based on the testimony of a German Jewish man living in Argentina, whose daughter had entered into a romantic relationship with one of Eichmann's sons. Although Israeli intelligence initially dismissed his claims, Bauer persisted and finally prevailed upon Israel's leadership to take the information seriously. At the end of 1959, Israeli Prime Minister Ben-Gurion ordered Isser Harel, the head of the Mossad, to capture Eichmann and bring him back to Israel for trial. The Mossad initially sent the chief investigator for Israel's internal security agency, Zvi Aharoni, to Buenos Aires to track down Eichmann. Although Bauer's information was dated, Aharoni was able to find Eichmann, and a 30-person Mossad team, including Harel, the head of Mossad, was soon put together to bring him back to Israel. Many of the team members were Holocaust survivors who had lost family and friends at the hands of the Nazis. After more reconnaissance, the team devised a plan to kidnap Eichmann. After the war, Eichmann escaped prison and, after moving from Europe to the Middle East, eventually settled in Argentina where he lived under the assumed name Ricardo Clement until the Mossad captured him. On the night of May 11, 1960, as Eichmann got off a public bus on his way home from work, he was overpowered, bundled into a waiting car and driven to a safe house. After 9 days in the safe house, members of the Mossad team and Eichmann, dressed like a flight crew, boarded a chartered El Al flight that took them back to Israel. The plane had initially brought an Israeli delegation to Argentina to attend its 150-year independence celebrations. After landing in Israel, Eichmann was taken to be identified by people who had met him before the Holocaust. 2 days after his arrival in Israel, David Ben-Gurion publicly announced Eichmann's capture. Eichmann was subsequently tried in Jerusalem, found guilty of 15 charges, and ultimately executed by hanging. 2. Rescuing Moroccan Jewry, Operations Mural and Jachim, 1961–1964. When Morocco declared independence from France in 1956, the new North African state granted its Jewish population full citizenship and recognition. However, Moroccan Jews were forbidden from emigrating to other countries. Even though the ban on emigration was lifted in 1961, many Moroccan Jews were concerned over their precarious status and wished to emigrate to Israel and other countries. Although foreign organizations were banned from helping people to emigrate from Morocco, the Mossad devised a plan whereby over 600 Jewish children would surreptitiously immigrate to Israel, with promises to their families that they would have priority in adult emigration operations. The operation, dubbed Operation Mural, was carried out by David Littman, a 28-year-old British Jew living in Switzerland. Littman, unaware that he was actually working for the Mossad, portrayed himself as the head of a children's charity that wished to take a group of Moroccan children for a holiday in Switzerland. However, following their stay in Switzerland, the children would then continue on to their new lives in Israel. The plan was for 630 children to leave Morocco in groups that would travel to France, then to Switzerland and finally to Israel. However, when the first groups arrived in France, they decided that it was unnecessary to waste money by having the children visit Switzerland and sent them straight to Israel. Rumors of their arrival in Israel began to spread and even made their way onto local radio programs. This imperiled those involved with the operation in Morocco, and it was forced to come to a premature end, with only 530 of the children able to successfully leave Morocco and immigrate to Israel. Soon after the end of Operation Mural, the Mossad launched Operation Yachim. Named for one of the pillars of King Solomon's temple, Operation Yachin facilitated the emigration of almost 100,000 Jews from Morocco between 1961 and 1964. While most went to Israel, some moved to other countries, such as France, Canada and the United States. One of the key components of Operation Yachin was a negotiated settlement whereby Israel would pay millions of dollars to Morocco for the economic loss that would be caused by the emigration of so many people. 3. The Mossad's fight against Nazi scientists, Operation Damocles, 1962. In July 1962, Israelis were shocked when Gamal Abdel Nasser, the president of Egypt, announced that the Egyptian military had conducted 4 successful tests of missiles that were capable of hitting any target throughout the Jewish state. Soon after the announcement, Israeli officials discovered that these rockets were secretly being developed in the Egyptian desert by a team of German scientists, the same ones who had developed the V-1 and V-2 rockets that Nazi Germany had launched at Britain during World War II. In response to this revelation, Prime Minister Ben-Gurion tasked the Mossad with putting an end to Egypt's missile program. There were a number of components to Operation Damocles. When possible, the Mossad would intimidate or threaten the German scientists and those bankrolling the missile project into ceasing their cooperation with Nasser's Egypt. In certain cases, the Mossad informed the West German government as to who was participating in the missile program. In response, the West German government offered jobs to these scientists who then mostly returned to Germany. July 21, 1962, President Gamal Abdel Nasser watched the armed forces of the United Arab Republic fire 4 rockets from the desert west of Cairo today. He indicated that Israel was within range of the rockets. When it was not possible to intimidate or pay off those involved with the project, the Mossad was forced to resort to violence. In one notorious incident, the Mossad was involved in the disappearance and assassination of Heinz Krug, who headed a shell company that was helping to finance the Egyptian missile program. In this instance, the person who killed Krug was a former SS officer named Otto Skorzeny. Skorzeny, who was an associate of many of the German scientists, was turned by the Mossad into an asset in exchange for his name being taken off famous Nazi hunter Simon Wiesenthal's list of wanted Nazis. Wiesenthal ultimately refused to do so. Even though Operation Damocles ultimately came to a close after a number of Mossad agents were arrested in Switzerland and a number of non-scientists were injured, the operation was successful in thwarting the Egyptian threat.